There's a in San Francisco.
They're,
There's a whole
they're
restaurant.
testing all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
there's a whole restaurant. It's a burger joint. It's you order, robot makes it, and there's like one guy works the entire place.
You don't have to worry about anybody
Hiring
spitting
people
in
is
it.
just such a hassle.
Yeah. On the other hand,
Well, I'm okay
have you
with
seen
robots
that
replacing
in there
everything.
properly?
Just guarantee minimum income. Done.
Yeah.
You just need a robot to clean the robots.
Or
Then humanity
Right.
needs to deal with them
you're being
post
recorded right now.
Matrix, that's what happened.
work world.
20-hour work week, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matrix is happening. Along with Idiocracy.
You still hear me okay, Chris?
Yes, we're there, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Great. Once upon a time.
There's this thing.
Are we playing now? Really?
We're playing. Did everybody read the last entry?
Yes.
I scanned it.
Rock shit.
Right.
Who's Corn and Nafisa?
Corin was DJ.
Corin's not here.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Corn is dead. Just
He's been written out.
the Rock ate him.
He wanted too much money on his contract negotiation.
That's right.
He's being written out of the show.
Yeah, brain tumor.
We had to feed the rock something for passage.
What's that?
Who's Nafisa?
I'm Nafisa.
That's Eric.
Eric. The other Eric. Bingo.
Neb.
Right, you can see him next to
Yep.
Damn it, I keep not
Wait,
looking
wait
at
at
these
him.
like-
Neb.
That's Neb.
Neb here.
That's Akam. Ben is Katrin. This is Banyan, who we've not met yet. There's Nafisa. And what's your name? Jalad.
Thunderbrow.
He's not gonna be a cave troll?
We already got one.
Banyan.
That role is filled.
Wait, so Thunderbrow's new and who else is new?
Banyan is new. Neil's character is new.
Banyan?
Just call him Neil.
Banyan.
Neil for sure.
Yeah, he goes by Neil.
Neil's his last name.
Okay, so
What happened? Oh,
What?
Okay. What
so
happened
he's right there.
Rare.
to Akam?
Who's up first?
There's probably a pretty significant delay on the drop cam side.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wait, I thought you said Vic was Banyan.
No,
No.
Neil is Banyan.
Neil has been.
Oh, Neil's Banyan? This is why I'm getting confused. Who's Thunderbrow?
That's Jeff.
Jeff.
God, sorry guys.
I don't know, it's on third.
Notes.
Yeah,
Scroll,
exactly.
scroll, scroll. Who's who?
So I'm typing this guy.
Right. All right. So you are climbing aboard the rock ship. This immense bird with two large huts strapped to his back, and it's at this time Corin stops you all and says, "I can't go with you. I need to stay with the children. I feel that is my place, and I can be of much better use in their lives than yours." And he unstraps the black sword, and he hands it to Nafisa.
Oh. The fell blade.
Fell blade.
And then he bids you adieu and returns with the elf woman that brought you all here on her wagon, which you totally know how to drive.
Farewell, my friends. You are exchanging one heavy burden for another, but I know it's a very difficult decision for you.
Corin will teach them the ways of soccer.
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 So yeah, he says he's going to help Elmi with her training, and he may try and convince her to go with Captain Errol and only
Because she's going to train to be a warrior.
A warrior.
Perhaps we will meet again.
Perhaps.
In this life or another.
Okay. Okay, so Corin wheels off into the sunset.
So I forgot what this spell blade was.
We don't know.
You don't really know.
We don't know. We
I
just
guess-
found it. That's it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's probably a good time for a brief recap then. So you
Previously.
previously.
I recall everyone that's tried to get any sort of read on it has basically passed out.
Oh, it's
blow across the room.
Yeah, it blew me across the room basically.
Yeah. So you woke up on Captain Errol's ship
Yeah.
with no memory of what had happened. You were all injured, and many of the sailors were dead or missing. There were a couple of crazy people down in the brig, and nobody knows any idea why, except they were clearly nuts. And
Were they crew?
Yeah, they were. part
Okay,
of
they
the
were crew who something happened to them.
Right. One of them was raving. You sailed to an island where you had a brief adventure in a little temple where you got attacked by lots of rats,
Yep.
and then you sailed on to Kingsport, which was under attack, burning. You snuck in, and that's where you were looking for Bryn's lady love. Errol's lady love, Bryn, who you found was dead, but you
With a
got the
kid.
child. Yep,
Mhm.
and you escaped with the
Caretaker.
with Elni, who
Yep.
was taking care of
Yep.
of Ujil,
Mm-hmm.
and the master of the city at the time, who was immediately killed upon leaving. It was him and his two sons, and so they left, and the rest of you proceeded south through to the inn, whose name escapes me right now, where you had your fortunes read, or some of it,
Oh yeah.
and in the middle of the night,
Oh right.
she was attacked and killed
Yeah.
by a strange man who you hunted down
Right.
and took with you as a prisoner back to Fellmouth, where it turned out he was the king
Yeah.
and the new king, because
Yeah.
the old one is presumed dead
Right.
from going north to fight the orcs. And from there you were going to meet Captain Errol to return the children to him, and then you were attacked by some local toughs led by a dwarf,
That's right.
and who destroyed his necklace that you're all wearing.
Yeah, I love the amulet.
And so you took the pieces to a elven smith who was not able to repair it, but she told you that they're elven Denmanai protection amulets, which is part of the Order of the Sylvan Hand, which is a elven order that seeks out ancient magic items that were created by the great wizards before they disappeared, and destroys them if they can, but hides them if they can't destroy them. So it was decided that you needed to go to Selim, which is the capital of the Elven Kingdom, to find out what's going on and possibly to replace your amulet. And so she took you. You had a brief shopping spree, and then she took you to the little town outside of the city where you are now, boarding a giant rock. It's a huge bird, just enormous, which they call a rock ship, run by elves, and that's where we are.
Now, I lost it somewhere, but the sword was that on the ship, or where did we get the sword?
Corin had it when you woke up.
Yeah.
It just was there.
Mhm.
We also, as I recall, there was some maybe memory of we were on the ship and there was like a fog bank or something with weird lights and whatnot. Is that
So
right?
in the log, there was talk of you were with an elf woman
Well, you're right.
that presumably hired you to
Yes.
do this, who had created some sort of magic sigil on the deck
Right.
ship.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
According to the log, that had been disrupted at one point, and actually in the log it told you was by these two men actually that you found in the brig.
There we go.
That's right. 'Cause
And-
it was made of like gold dust or silver dust.
Right, silver dust, yeah.
Silver dust,
Okay.
and they were
So-
stealing it.
Right, and they were trying to steal it, but it
Oh.
disrupted the magic. So she had to recast the spell, after which, she went in her cabin and was not seen again, essentially, until you'd never seen again. She wasn't there when later.
And then the politics is that there's a rival kingdom or something that's trying to take advantage of the fact that the king has gone off and is apparently gone, and they're the ones who are laying siege to.
Right. To
Kingsport.
Kingsport, yeah, and right.
And we run into them and got out of that trouble.
the Marsretans,
Yes.
their army is attacked. You're not entirely certain why, but you definitely heard between the people in Kingsport and Fellsmouth about the orcs are on the move, and that's where people are going. And so it is reasonable to assume that one of those nations is taking advantage of that to make a move on the other one.
All right. Any other items or weird things that we've got in possession that we need to be reminded of? We've got the jewelry,
amulets,
the
yeah.
amulets. We've got the sword.
I have this black dagger. Does that matter?
What's that?
Don't I have that black dagger that we found in that cave?
Oh, the silver dagger, yeah.
Silver dagger.
Yeah, you found that in the dungeon. It was like a ceremonial knife.
But it wasn't a big. I don't think it was a big deal, right?
As I probably checked it out. I don't.
Yeah, it's not magical, but
Okay.
it's clearly quite valuable. It's very unique.
Craig should hold on to that.
Okay. Well, I think we're good then. Thank you. That was
Okay.
really helpful.
And just so I know, Thunder Brown Band, what kind of characters are you?
Well, we haven't technically met them yet.
Yeah, you haven't met them yet.
But
Oh, we haven't
good.
met them yet. Okay,
No.
good.
Yep.
Okay.
So you climb aboard the rock ship, and you take off in the middle of the night. They tell you it'll take about 3 days to get to Sealum, and there will be no stops along the way. They give you, a bunch of important safety tips, and please
Muster
keep.
drill.
That's right.
In case the cabin is depressurized.
Right.
Find the nearest exit.
Right.
What am I doing with Aisha?
There's room for her on board.
Oh, okay.
I can't impress upon you on how unimaginably big this bird is. They have basically part of one of the huts is set aside as a stables, and there's a couple of other horses in there.
It's like a
Flying
Brilliance of the
aircraft
Seas
Yeah.
or
What's that?
Brilliance of the Seas. Or
Yes. They did actually give you a name. I just don't remember what it is.
When they say rock ship, you're thinking pebble. They're meaning mountain.
ROC Rock.
What do we have here?
Fashindar is the name of the
What is Errol doing? He's
He is back on his ship with Ujil, his son.
okay. Right.
And he didn't really tell you what he was going to do. He had thought about selling the ship and settling down, but he seemed to be rethinking that policy.
The sea calls to him.
Right.
Maybe get out of Kingsport.
Yeah.
Be a blockade runner.
Personalized.
Are amulets explode or just the one?
Just the one. Yeah.
Just cat trends.
Yeah. Katrin's was destroyed by one of the. Well, it was.
You're zapped by the dwarf, right?
Yeah. One of the goons snapped it off his neck, and then the
Yeah.
dwarf smashed it with his big old hammer.
I got it.
So
Yeah.
we still technically don't know specifically what they do.
Right. The only thing that the Elvin Smith woman told you was that they were protection amulets. The only time you've ever seen them do anything is when you try to like detect magic on the sword.
So what's the name of the kingdom that Kingsport is in?
It is Kingsport is in. Gotta make sure I get this right. Kingsport is in Isonia,
Oh yeah.
and Fellsmouth is in Terelia.
Chirelia?
Yep. Terrelia. And the
And that's-
attacking army was from Marsaret. Marserret. And these are 3 nations that were once one,
Oh yeah.
and officially none of the 3 recognizes the other 2, but they've just been sort of at an uneasy peace for a long time, which is clearly not the case.
So the king we encountered was from Chirelia. Is that right?
Yes, he was the
Okay.
king of
And what's the
Terelia.
name? What's his name again?
His name
Your Majesty,
Your
my Lord,
Highness.
Your Highness.
So they all think of themselves as one,
Well,
but they're all.
What's that?
it's like North and South Korea, probably, right?
There's technically
Essentially,
only one
yeah.
Korea.
What should I say?
Or China and Taiwan.
They all have a one kingdom policy.
Boy, that's gonna come to a
Yeah,
head one day.
that's all.
Taiwan?
There should be a bunch.
We got that table over there. Oh, yeah, right on the table, there's that or in the,
It belongs to-
right there, right there.
The Middle Kingdom?
Merrick.
Merrick.
Merek.
Yeah, that was it.
Got it. Thank you. You want some?
It's like, yeah.
It doesn't taste right at all. I didn't taste it, it was just the wrong size. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, the Hugo can.
yeah.
It's made for people.
It's my limit of intake to be black.
Sweet
Is that the
blonde.
real sugar version?
Yeah, it's a mix of real sugar and stevia. Yeah, there's a little bit of real sugar in there and has stevia.
What the? I thought you gave up sodas.
I did. This is the size I
That is.
They treats. Normally I just use it to mix with rum.
It's his methadone.
You say that, but yes. Yes. I had to wean myself off of that as well. It's,
I gave it up a couple years ago now.
You know what I do? I don't really, unless I really need caffeine and there's nothing else, I'll maybe have a Diet Coke, but I will get unsweet tea with just a little tiny splash of sweet, and it's amazing the difference it makes. And it just takes a little bit of the bitter edge off of it. I mean, it's remarkable, and then it gets me thinking, my God, how much sugar do they put in this sweet tea?
Cupfuls.
Yeah.
I mean, because I just do like that, and it's like,
I just use stevia, so we get.
That or I splash on it.
oh, for like a kind of mini
Like a
Arnold Palmer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
All right, so flying through the air.
Poor Road, I think, is not digging this.
I'm not sure Aisha's been.
That reminds me, the way familiars work has changed. Did you read about the find familiar spell? I can summarize it for you.
I
super
did
quick.
not.
But essentially, the bad news is that Rove is basically I've put his stats on the back. He's got 1 hit point, and he's essentially a normal rat in almost
Okay.
every way.
Okay.
The good news is if he dies, he doesn't take you with him. He's just like,
Okay.
if he dies, he just pops out of existence,
Uh-huh.
and then you can resummon him
Oh, I
when you
see.
need to.
Okay, cool.
So his death has no bearing on you. But you can still do things like use him to deliver touch spells and things like that.
Oh, good. Now, the other thing was, can gnomes still speak with, like, burrowing animals?
No.
Okay. Alright.
They could do that.
They could, in previous edition.
Previous.
Previous, or at least
Um,
5.
As basically your mount, Brahm, works the same way. He's a celestial being, basically, and you can summon him using that Find Familiar spell, or you can dismiss him as you want to. If you prefer, you can just make him a real horse. That's fine too.
It's so funny how Rove is now a dated reference.
Rove,
Carl Rove. Lord. I guess that would be Bannon.
That's a good name for a rat.
Miller.
You can make him a celestial steed. We'll say you got an upgrade from our deity.
Yeah, that's why I wrote him on your thing. I also, this the same with your rat. He could be either a celestial or a fae creature. I just made him a fae creature because it seemed like more his style.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, your rat also leveled up.
Yeah, I probably.
His rat really leveled down.
I probably.
Well, on the other hand, he's effectively immortal.
Yeah, basically.
And he's not going to hurt me.
Right, if he dies, it doesn't take you down.
That was the real bad part.
Same thing
Yeah.
with the steed. If the
Yeah, it doesn't-
steed dies, it's not.
Right. Essentially, they're the same thing as a familiar. There's just you can't use them to like deliver spells, but any spell you cast on yourself will also cast on him. What?
While he's mounted.
While he's mounted, yeah. So you fly through the night and the day and the night and the day. If there's anything in particular you want to do while you're on this thing, you can do it. Otherwise, nothing untoward happens. When you arrive in the early evening, you are flying over the Shattered Isles, which is the remnants of the Elven Kingdom that was destroyed in the Great Wizard War. You're flying over, and you see the capital city of Silum, the largest island, and you start descending. And you land on a pretty small island that's very close, and it's attached to the main island by a really long bridge. And this is basically a rookery. There's another rock there, and so you all land, climb off, get all your stuff. The elves offer to take care of your animal for you if you want. There's a stable on the rookery too that they can temporarily hold Aisha if you want.
Okay.
If you want them to do that, otherwise you can do it yourself.
Yeah, no, I have.
Okay. Once you all climb down off the thing and stretch your legs and walk around a bit, yeah, exactly. Elf, young adult, basically comes running up to you, and he says that. Everything okay with it? He says that we've been expecting you for some time. In the morning, you've been granted an audience with King Kenrim Belwarin at his court at First Light. We have rooms for you in the palace for while you're here. If there's anything I can get you, don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, the evening is yours.
Well, we are honored, and thank you for your hospitality and your gracious welcome. I think we're just we want to be able to walk around a bit, if that is okay.
Of course,
with,
you have
with you.
the whole town is available to you.
Okay.
There are many fine.
Your town is a pub, right?
Is it what?
Is there a pub in town?
Oh, loud.
That's our boy.
And Craig's gone.
Wait, where's Craig?
Okay, so you cross this immensely long bridge. There's gorgeous views of the ocean far below you. You can see ships, plying the passage between the two islands. It's about probably about 200-foot long bridge. It's wood and rope, but it's very stout, very strong. It doesn't move at all, even though you can clearly feel the wind sailing past you. And it goes slightly downward towards Sealam.
I would be very keen on if there are any particular historical sites, or if there are some, if there's a district or something that where I can look for magical opponents, and also the clockwork stuff. Just basically what Neb's kind of
Right.
his bag,
Right.
his jam.
Make a history check.
Make a history check. Oh, I can do that.
So that would be
genius level.
right. So that would be it's an intelligence, so +4.
All right. First roll of the day. It's a 5.
+4 is 9. So you aren't immediately aware of anything,
Okay.
but
I'll just keep my eyes open.
and the envoy is still with you, so you could always
I gotta ask. Yeah. Right.
You don't have pluses there?
Um,
Everybody else has pluses
pluses where?
on his things.
Oh yeah, some of them do it the other way, where they put the number, the actual score, in the little box, and then the plus and minus in the big box. In the little circles, I mean. They just, on theirs, for some reason, it's reversed. Because that was the way I assume it did it on net.
No, I'm confused.
Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying.
So I've got pluses over here.
I don't have any
You just
pluses.
didn't fill them in.
Okay.
So basically, all this means is, like acrobatics is a dex check, so you just add your dexterity, which is nothing. But for the ones that are circled in, you get to add your proficiency bonus as well. So insight would be a wisdom, which is +3, and since you're proficient in it, you get to add this +3 as well. So it's +6.
Oh, so this is just whatever this is plus that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can go ahead and fill those in. I just did it for like his did it automatically for everything. But
So I just do
I just-
+3 on all these?
for wisdom, it would be +6.
Oh,
And medicine too, for that matter. Because it tells you in super light writing what the relevant
Right.
score is.
So you're talking about the big box where it says wisdom, like wisdom +1 on mine? So
Yeah.
everywhere where it says wisdom, I should have a +1 written in?
A +1 plus the proficiency bonus.
Yeah, if it's a skill you're proficient in, you get that bonus plus your proficiency bonus, which is +3. If you're not proficient in that skill, so it's not filled in, then it's just whatever your ability score bonus is. So if it was wisdom and you weren't proficient in it, it would be +1. And if it was wisdom skill that you were proficient in, it would be +4.
Okay.
Make sense?
This much.
No sense at all.
Well, then, I think we'll just, we'll just have a little walkabout and stretch our legs,
Okay. Yeah.
and maybe we'll head to the pub.
We'll head to the pub.
I'd like to spend some time maybe on the periphery,
Fine.
along the coast of the island or something.
Of which one? The
Of the-
Sealam or the Rookery?
No, not that too maybe. But,
Okay.
But
The Rookery you could probably walk around in about an hour.
Yeah.
Sealam is really big,
Yeah.
so it would probably take you all night.
Well, I don't mean want the whole thing, but I mean just take some time to spend out of civilization.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just running around, seeing what it is to see.
Yep. Seeing what
The
plants and
impress-
animals are there.
The impression we got though
Is it
is
safe to go alone?
missing.
It's the capital city of the elves, so
Yeah, I think.
it's not going to get too much safer.
Yeah. So is the impression we got that we were supposed to have this audience before we sought out the Dinmanai?
You're not sure. You're not entirely certain why the king asked to give you an audience.
That wasn't really necessarily expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
That
elf
was
lady
going to
that
be
you
my
talked to.
question: is how's the king know we're coming?
Yeah. All of a sudden we're like
Yeah.
getting these involved with these kings, which often is not a good deal.
Denman.
Perhaps we should, maybe we should go on our own, maybe find out.
Who those?
Yeah, talk to the Dinmanai that order.
Split up
a
to our names,
Dinmanai.
I mean.
Our possible employers.
Yeah.
Where have you guys been?
We forgot.
Let's go to the, let's,
Right?
huh?
We're supposed to be looking for Demigol, right?
Denmanai?
The Dinmanai.
The Denman Eye.
The Dinmanai are the order that finds the magical power, the powerful magical items and secures them or destroys them. We're supposed to find them.
I would like to find them so I can fix my
I mean, that's what
Yeah.
it represents.
Why don't
But
we?
it's not cursed.
Well, you don't know what the symbol
Yeah,
on it is.
yes. We don't know what it does.
Look.
we with
But the thing is, I'm not sure we want the King's Envoy to know what we're doing necessarily. So why don't we go to the pub? We can have a drink, and we can also talk to some folks, and we can find out where the Dinmanai are. Then we can go there.
Yep. That's a good plan.
Is that good? Okay.
Oh, we're not
That's-
gonna ask them
I don't
to do. I don't.
know.
I figured he was gone,
Well,
or is he still hanging around?
He
he's in the
is.
vicinity.
You've just gotten off the bridge.
Yeah.
So he's still with you. He doesn't look like he's necessarily following you,
Right.
but he's still close
But
to you.
I don't want to. I don't want to
Okay.
ask that guy.
Tip our hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the pub. Let's find a pub.
Okay, so you head into town,
Although
and
my
except for
guess
you,
is they
you're
already know.
sort of splitting off.
Nobody
Being a druid.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
And do my druid stuff.
Maybe try and ditch the envoy.
But they might want. They might not. I don't know. I think. But they may want to meet. We don't know why they want to meet us, and I want to make sure that we meet with the Demoni. So they may want to prevent us from doing that. I have no idea what their agenda is. So go ahead.
Time to split up.
No.
So you still have the sword, yes?
Yes, I'm gonna hand it to Occam, or yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna hold it. 'Cause you're gonna be able to
Occam
carry it
does.
better than me.
It is now called Occam's Razor.
He saves himself.
We never actually tried using this thing in combat.
Don't draw blood with that thing.
lawful good. Paladin. Do not go slicing.
Negotiable.
Situation.
All right, so we'll.
Boromir wanted to use the power of the One Ring against someone.
Yeah, look what happened to him.
Went pretty well for him, as I recall.
Not necessarily lawful good either.
Well, not by that point. All right, so you head into town, except for you, who's checking out.
Yeah, I'll agree to,
environment.
I guess, meet you at, I don't know where we'll arrange to meet. Where I guess we have lodgings. But our
In the
audience
palace,
is tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
So, yeah, I'll meet you guys at the lodgings.
Okay.
To the pub.
Yeah. If you're not there, we're gonna come looking.
All right, so we'll go. We'll ask. Where just a passerby or something. Where the where's a good watering hole, and see
Okay.
if we can find it.
All right, so yeah, one of the elves looks at you a little oddly, but he points you to a pub down the street a little bit. I would like everyone to make a perception roll, and Ben has advantage on that roll, which means you get to roll twice and pick the highest number.
Is that passive wisdom?
No, that would be your perception skill.
What am I rolling?
It's just passive wisdom.
20-siders.
20
Yeah.
I have no perception skill.
So it's just your wisdom. 19.
19 plus 4?
Okay.
Yeah, passive wisdom?
No, it will be your perception skill.
Oh, perception. Okay.
Oh, perception skill.
Okay.
We have a guide.
So mine, this is
I have no
You
perception.
got a high wisdom.
wisdom, so I have a +3.
Yeah, unless you're proficient in it.
I'm not.
Okay, so yeah, it's +3.
So I rolled 19, but I add 4. That's
Yes.
it?
Yeah, if you're are you proficient in it?
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
got proficiency plus
Yes,
1.
so yes, plus 4.
But then don't I get another, or is that my bonus?
You could, but you rolled a 19. So I mean, if you want to go for the 20,
I'm just
you're
trying to figure
fine.
out.
What's
Yeah,
up?
I'm just
just
trying to
aid
figure
for the
out.
future.
Yeah, for if you, advantage, you would get to roll twice and then take the highest number.
Okay.
So you could roll again, go for the 20. There's no
Sounds
penalty. There's no penalty for doing it. So
I'm gonna
got a 6.
Okay.
I
I'm
got
like, what? Something going
I
on,
got
guys?
a
17
19
and an 18.
plus 3.
Okay. So what did you get?
I rolled a 3.
Okay, and you got a 6. You got really high, and you got a thing.
19 plus 30.
Okay.
Well, that's everyone I know.
So you two notice, and especially you, there's an unusually large number of dwarves around, and they're the northern Duragar clan, which are usually, they have a historic connection with the elves, but they haven't been on super friendly terms for a long, long time, and they haven't been like at war or anything. But it's unusual to see so many dwarves around, and they don't really look like they're enjoying themselves that much. But
War.
They don't look like they're enjoying themselves.
I mean, they're not like they look like they're not just like casually strolling around like the elves are. They're not citizens of this town, obviously, so they're just kind of
Visiting.
yeah.
Don't want to be weird.
Garrison.
Yeah.
Don't wanna
And
sound
you notice this
racist.
as well. There's a
Don't
strange
wanna
number of
sound
dwarves
racist.
around.
There's a lot of dwarves around.
It's just
Not a
an
racist comment. That's wrong.
Well, we don't have any dwarves in our party, so that is a little bit racist.
So are you looking for anything in particular?
No, just exploring the
Getting the lay of the land?
yep, plants and animals that are on
Okay.
this Rookery Island, I guess.
Okay. As you are walking towards your inn, a whole bunch of children come running down the street at you, little elven boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
They come, there's probably like a dozen of them, and they just slam right into your party. And they're just like laughing and giggling and stuff like that and running around.
Mhm.
And when they pass through, you find that you have a piece of paper in your hand.
Oh my.
Ned does?
Yeah.
I will look at it.
Okay. It says, do you know Elvish?
I do not.
Okay, then you do not understand what it says.
Yeah. I'll give it.
Okay.
If you don't understand